Class. Class.
Okay. So we were trying to work on the reading part of it, right? So when you're coming to writing, what you need to work for writing, you need to first prepare your hand, then you need to prepare your mind. So we use materials also. When I have to prepare my hand, what are the materials I will have to use? Sandpaper, letter. I have to teach the children how do I write, how do I trace, what is the direction. Along with that, am I also teaching them the sound of it? Definitely yes. How do I teach it? Using a 3-period lesson. What letter is this? Can you tell me where is that letter? And what is that? So when I ask questions, the child is able to name, recall, and recognize. So that is all completed. Then I get into another material called movable alphabet. Here is where I'm teaching the child to identify a letter. Along with that, we make a word, we make a phrase, we make a sentence, and we make a paragraph. Once this is all done, if you want to have a better pencil grip for the children, you also give metal insets. What are metal insets? How do we work on it? It's a, what is that, wooden material, right? So we pick up any particular shape and we try to trace it. Now, when it comes down to tracing, you have multiple presentations also. You take one pencil, you do tracing. You do an inward tracing or an outward tracing. But what is our important thing that we have to remember? The size of the paper should be as the same as the size of your frame. This is what you have to remember. So, preparatory activities, you will cut the paper to the same size of your metal frame. Then use color pencil to trace. Before tracing, what you have to do? You have to do a tracing using your finger. So they are trying to sensitize that particular thing. Then is what you're going to use the paper and you're going to do an outward tracing. So I can have one image, multiple impressions, multiple times tracing the same thing, different directions I can do, different objects I can integrate it and actually work on that. So depending on what is your exercise, you're going to be working on all of those exercises accordingly. Okay. So that becomes our one particular thing wherein you are going to be working a lot more on your exercises, which talks about your metal insets. From there, after metal insets, what else I can include? Chalkboards, correct? Now you're trying to introduce children to write something. So why don't we introduce our chalkboards? So again, on chalkboards, do we have varieties of chalkboards? Yes, right? We have different kinds of chalkboards. So it can be a blank board. It can be a square board. It can be a double line, 4-line, single line. Any kind of boards is what I can actually work on. Now, what do I give for a child to write on the blackboards is important. I can give them a letter to write. I can give them a word to write on the blackboard, right? I can give them a sentence to write on the blackboard or even a paragraph to write on the blackboard. So you teachers will have to prepare all those writings and then you will have to be putting it into it. Okay. So once that is done, what else we go on? See, it is so linked. We work on sorting. How do you sort symbols? You can sort the symbols based on letters.
Ma'am?
Strokes, yes?
Ma'am, we will get a questions like each the separate topics, right, ma'am? If we want to do nomenclature class, so we will get that.
Everything will be specific, Niveta. Everything will be so specific. The questions will be so specific. Say, suppose in case if it's nomenclature cards, they will say, with the help of Montessori nomenclature cards, how do you demonstrate or how is it helpful in building the child's language skills? So you can use nomenclature. So they have not mentioned any example what you're going to take. You can take frog, writing, anything, and you can work on it. So it's huge. You have to just
for math,
lesson by lesson.
Static and dynamic sums, do we need to prepare for ourselves or you will give?
Problems?
Yes, ma'am.
They will give.
Okay.
They will give you a couple of problems. They will ask you to solve those. You will analyze if it is static or it is dynamic.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So while demonstrating, you can see since there is a carry forward or there is a borrowing, it's a dynamic. But you will have to make sure for every count of 10, why you have to replace, that you have to tell if it's dynamic. Correct? Yes, no, answer.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So
Yes, ma'am.
any other conceptuals? Anything that you have it in doubt, you can ask me. Another 10 more minutes I can leverage. 7 o'clock I have to
Ma'am,
meet.
before we presenting the practical, no, and that time we giving some time or immediately we have to do practical in front of you, ma'am.
I'll give you 10 minutes. 40 minutes is totally there for your paper, but 5-10 minutes more I can extend, not beyond that. First go through the question, analyze the problem, then you start. As far as I'm concerned, that 10 minutes you should use. How will you write? What are the words that you're going to be using in your presentation? What's the direct purpose? What's the indirect purpose? And anything else if you're forgotten, to just immediately go pick the material, see the material for yourself, and then you can ask. Online students, you can say, ma'am, can you show me color tablet 3? Because we don't have the material. So I can pop it out on the screen. You can see that. But if you don't tell me color tablet 3, I will not be able to show. You might say, if it is knob cylinders or knobless, you can ask me, can you show me knobless cylinders? Because offline students have the privilege to go see the material. You have the privilege to ask me to show that. If you're a little confused about that material. I think everybody is coming except very few of them.
Ma'am,
Yes.
we don't have the skittle multiplication and division in our auditorium room. The skittle we don't have.
For?
Multiplication and division, ma'am.
They lost the
green
skittles, huh? They lost the
Yes.
skittles.
Are missing, ma'am.
The
Only 3
the
are
green
available.
skittle.
Only 3 are available, huh? Skittles.
For multiplication board, only 3 are there, and for division board, no skittles.
Nothing is there. Nothing is there.
No skittles are there. Okay. Anything
ma'am.
else is missing there?
Yes, ma'am. In geometrical solids, also one this shape is missing. Many are missing, ma'am. Actually, we
No,
noted down.
Can you share me the list, Prasanna? I think only M3 was using, M3 and M2 were using it, right?
No, during M2, Chrysalis also, those things were not there actually.
Before that, that's not there.
Now, when we introduced that in the beginning of the class, it was there, right, Lipika, when we did that demo?
No, ma'am.
July?
It's not there.
July?
Yes, ma'am.
When we did the leaf cabinet, geometry cabinet and all, it was there. Post July, it's
Leaf
not available.
cabinet there.
Okay.
We
So
are
you just
talking
share
about
me
the
the list
skittle,
of materials which is not there. I'll just check with the teachers on that.
In subtraction strip board, that strips are missing. Like small things are missing, ma'am.
Okay, I'll ask them to keep it ready. You know, at least they can use a cardboard and make it ready. Any other note, any other materials? If you have missed, you please send it to me. No?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. So all the very best. Prepare well. Don't keep your doubts till Tuesdays, Thursdays, whenever you're getting, at least send a voice message or put a note. Okay. So try to put it into the
When
group.
you are explaining, na ma'am, on that time it is really clear only. Afterwards, we are doing or we are thinking about that particular topic now. It is really difficult, ma'am.
That is what I said. Everybody feels the same till your exam time. And even I'm giving an exam on some other topic, I will also be nervous. When I go for an interview, I go for a TV show, I will also be nervous. If you're feeling that way, it's good for you. That tingling sensation should be there. That fear of exam should be there. Not too much, but that keeps you motivated to read a little bit more. But everybody will know everything. That's the reason I say just close your eyes. Remember what is the material, what you will do. If you're able to do that, just close your book. That's it. You don't have to redo multiple times. I come to
Okay.
class every day
In
without seeing any of the
practical,
books.
In
Okay.
practical writing time, we won't get nervous. In presenting in front of you, ma'am, we definitely be getting
Presentation
nervous.
is very important. See, that is what a teacher skill is all about. You don't have to get nervous. You just have to think that you're presenting it to children. You're all working in the service part of it. When you're actually getting worried there, and if you mess up there in the presentation, your presentation marks will be lessened, right? No matter how good you are written, you have not presented well. Your practical is all about you doing a demonstration. And being there for the whole year and being with me for the whole year or more than half a year, if you're still worried about me, I don't know. I'm not a monster or a dinosaur. You do good, you do good. You do bad, you do bad. Right? So what I have to be there is like, because your meeting is recorded, I can't be helping you also. I have to just be a facilitator. I have to just be a spectator, just to observe, and I have to give you fair feedback on what was my observation, because I have to be fair. If Leena is doing really good, I have to be really fair. If Lavanya is doing mistakes, I have to be really fair in mentioning what were the mistakes that she actually went through, because it's a 100-mark paper and such a simple question. So you can just imagine, like, what all could be taken care. That's the reason. Just relax. Whenever you're ready, you come for the presentation. And whenever you're presenting, have everything. You have a sitting mat, you have a material mat, materials are kept open, you have sufficient trays, whatever is required, you keep it. And something is not there, you please tell us before. This is not there. So how do I do? So we might tell you an alternative, use a strip of paper. Now say, for example, in case if you've got cubes like 3000 and there's only one cube, 1000. So we'll give you an alternative for the other 2 cubes, use a bottle or use 2 mobile phones. We might give you an option. So you can consider that as a quantity, but without telling you use something, that is not done. Okay? It's going to be simple. It's going to be easy. Just don't become too nervous. Everybody knows all the topics. The only thing is like you have to brush up. 15 more days, huh, guys? Now you can't take pressure. You have to just revise. Just revise every day, like 10 exercises, you should be done. Okay? Okay, so good luck to all of you. So I'll have to be winding up. Okay? See you. I have a meeting at 7 o'clock. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Take care.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am.